Yeah. Yeah.
And they still going.
Yeah. I see y'all
One. For the month.
To understand, this is the truth. Out of all the billionaires in the world got almost 9 billion people in it. There's only 16 black billionaires. So that's the illusion. So every time, yeah, it feels good for one of us to get in, two to get in, but we got to stop taking the crumbs. It's time for way more of us out of 9 billion. I want 2 billion to be billionaires. I don't want nothing less for myself or my people.
That's why I was going to ask you, as far as being such in rare space, who do you talk to? Like, I know obviously it's you and Jay, a few other people, but very few people can relate to the challenges, to the struggles, to the financial difficulties, different things of that nature that happen at that level. Somebody said something that was very interesting to us one time. We was talking about a person that's extremely successful and his former friend, and they like, well, you never think about the winner's perspective. Everybody always sympathizes with the loser, but what about the winner? What about things that he has to go through, the trauma that he has? So what is that for you, knowing that you're one of 12 people in America? Like, who do you talk to? How's that social circle? How is it being in that environment? What are some of the challenges? Like, how does that actually look for you?
I mean, it's definitely lonely. It's not a lot of people to talk to. I mean, I talk to Jay or some other friends, but when I look at it, I just know the truth that it's not enough wealth being spread around, and so I'm at this point, and that's what energizes me. I don't really look at it, as far as like, okay, I'm a billionaire. I'm more like, my people are not doing good. Yes, I'm blessed to be a billionaire, but at the same time, if my people aren't doing good, then I can't be settled.
Because we talked to Nas, and he was saying, like, he's been doing a lot of venture capital investing, and he's been killing it. And I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, the higher up he moves, the more discouraged he gets.
Yeah.
Because he's into different circles now, and he's aware of information. He's realizing how much money is out there and how little money we have, where he didn't really fully understand that before. So it's an interesting paradigm, right? The higher up you move, the more discouraged you get, because you're seeing it from a different perspective. Like, you're seeing it from the mountain as opposed to seeing it from the street.
Yeah. So just sitting here, this is 30 years of experience of seeing things at a level that most people haven't seen it at. And so it's important that I tell people the truth. That's why I say, like, the time is now. No one is coming to save us, because I'm at that mountain and I'm seeing the oppression that's still at that level. And because they put us in the media like we're doing so good, y'all don't feel that level of the stoppage of creating wealth. So when it gets up to that point and we talk about generational wealth, we're fighting just to get like normal wealth, but we're so caught up in like, okay, a billionaire or this or that we're not understanding that once you get to that level, there's even more obstacles that are ahead of you. To kind of say my experience in that is, I want to tell you about this story about me running the marathon. So I decided to run the marathon, and I decided like 6 weeks before the marathon. Yeah, I was crazy. You usually gotta train 8 months. I only ran like 10 days before. I was partying the days before. And on the 10th mile, I hit a wall, and I felt like I was literally gonna die. And I wanted to stop. I had hit that level. I hit that ceiling in business. But I had to keep going. So I'm in pain, I'm struggling, but I had to keep going. And that's kind of a metaphor, for my life and for everybody who is in here that's on the road of being an entrepreneur. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You're gonna hit these obstacles, and there's different levels, there's different miles, there's different levels of intensity. And so I was able to make it and finish the marathon, and I was able to kind of take that with me and apply it to business. And so, you know, at this point, you know, in the position that I'm in, I had to really look at, like, what does, you know, the next half of my life look like? And I had to really look at what I wanted to do and make sure that I finished this marathon the right way. Because me just completing the race, that ain't what I want to do. I want to win the race. I want to win the race. I want us to win the race.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's 30 years of business for you.
Yeah.
It's 50 years of hip hop. When we met, you looked at us and you said, I love y'all brothers because what y'all been able to do, we've never been able to do in hip hop. And that's make it cool to be educated. So I wonder, when you look at the landscape from your perspective, right? Because you are at a different level, do you feel encouraged about this movement of financial power, financial literacy, financial education that you're seeing?
I mean, I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys are doing. The beauty about everybody here is they took that step. Everybody here, y'all took that step. Y'all took accountability to come here and learn. Give yourselves a round of applause. Nobody's hiding the knowledge. There's not like no secret conspiracy that they're hiding the knowledge. You have to make a decision that you want to be financially literate. You have to make that decision. And so, you know, seeing you guys be successful, being able to support y'all, and seeing so many people come out and changing the narrative to the importance of being financially literate is something that I gotta honestly say you guys are responsible for. You guys are responsible for that shift. So I applaud you on that.
When you think about it, Diddy was no different than Martin Luther King. Not saying, you know, as far as the morals and, you know, the things that Dr. Martin Luther King stood for. But what I am saying is that once he was into the music game, and if you compare to what they showed Martin Luther King, and towards the end of his life, he realized that he walked into a burning house. They only showed him the front. So, you know, this big kumbaya and wanting to hold hands and all this other type of stuff, he realized, Martin Luther King realized at the end of his life that he had led all his people into a burning house. And that's when, you know, towards the end of his life, he started talking about economics and, you know, reparations and you know, different things of that nature. You know, P. Diddy, he took a different route. You know, he went through the music industry, different things of that nature. You know, it's a lot of things, you know, what they say about the music industry. But like when you look at this clip, and what I want you to realize about this clip that you're about to watch, just know that, you know, we all come to some type of enlightenment or the light at the end of the tunnel and start to realize that we're not where we want to be. And then when we look back and we see, you know, it's our people. And, you know, that's what we burden for. And, you know, just when he filed that lawsuit, against Ciroc, and he began to speak about it on Earn the Leisure on this clip I'm about to tell you about. And he began to speak about black economics. That's when all this stuff came out. That's when all these things started coming out. Now, I'm not justifying and saying, you know, that he, you know, if he did what he did, that was wrong. I understand that. But when he started talking about black economics and talking about it's an illusion of it. It's an illusion of inclusion. 9 billion people in the world. It's only 16 billionaires that's black in the world. When he started talking about those things, that's That's him trying to lift his people up. And that's the last thing that I think is Javier and Deborah Brown, the CEOs of Dejian Beer and Wine Liquor and all of that. Once he started talking about rising and raising your people up, that's one thing that they can't. That's one thing that the industry does not allow. Now, we gave the money to you, and this is the things that you're seeing with P. Diddy. The lawsuit, Cassie, $30 million, another $100 million lawsuit. What they're doing is they're buck breaking him right in front of us. If not, about to kill him. Or I don't want to say kill, or unalive, because he just now said, and I want y'all to hear this, he just now said that he's not eating. He's not eating. He's not eating because you know what those people can do. So they're very powerful, and I know that you know they have been castrating, and it's just another. Let me just let y'all know, it's just another form of bug breaking when they turn on this propaganda machine. When they turn on this propaganda machine, it's another way of bug breaking, and it's going to give us the illusion that it was all right for them to do what they did to him, which it's their money. They gave it to him, but all he wanted was to see his people free. Now, look at the situation. Moses, I want to see my people free. It's the same thing. You know, he grew up in the palace, seeing all of this. And I'm pretty sure that he may have done some things that, you know, immorally or whatever it is, we all have. But when he started talking like this, I just want y'all to realize this is when they start going after, and they start going after him, and they want all that. They trying to get all everything, every million, everything. Same thing they did to Kanye West when he started. We got to understand that they're doing the same thing right here in front of us. 50 Cent, you know, when he started coming at him for the things that he was doing, you got to realize that these are all strategic moves. These are all strategic moves of the media, propaganda, and the people who were I think it's Javier, and I think it's Deborah Brown. I'm not for sure. Those are the CEOs of Dejiana. They own beer and wine factories. So I just want y'all to realize that this thing is bigger and deeper than what you can imagine. So make sure you enjoy the clip.